Hi everybody, my name is Renato Quintero, also known as Reiq, and today I wanted to share some of the sketches that I did, yesterday, and I just wanted to take some time for myself to have some drawing time and explore, some ideas. But I started with some like reference that I had, and I started just like drawing like a nice sexy butt a nice sexy figure just to start like warming up. It's just like sketches and just taking my time. I was like figuring out the brushes that I wanted to use for these uh, sketches. I use a brush that has like a sketchy texture, but sometimes the texture is kind of big, so I don't get the details that I want. And I'm just using some of that brush just to have like a nice flow, just like enjoy just drawing. And I actually promised these drawings to somebody who asked me like if I could draw from those references that were provided. And I I just I just did those drawings. It's like I do a lot of these drawings just to keep myself like flowing with the drawings, happens a lot. Like you can get lost just drawing and completing different like illustrations and pieces, but you need to go back and just sketch for fun. And I'm sketching right now what I know and what I can draw, and in this drawing I try to like be more loose and then just refine the figure as I was drawing. In other drawings I'm more like direct with my lines, but in this case I just wanted to feel more of the shape and enjoy just the fact of being sketching just there like with the screen. And it's like taking my time and not in a hurry, and then adding some of the head and the overall feeling of this drawing. I thought it was kind of like a cute triangular pose. Nice way to show you know like the legs and the feet. And then after this I was like, I think I can add other details to this drawings to make it more personalized and not just like a drawing that I just did from a photo reference. And once I did those drawings I was like, okay, I feel ready to like explore some drawings on my own. And that's what I did, just drawing. And I didn't want to draw a regular face, maybe something more like an alien kind of insect like creature will be fun to draw. I personally love to do this. It's something that every time I draw, my hand just like slides and start making these lines like more like a creature. And I don't know, I find something that is like kind of sexy to have that kind of like a helmet but still have that mouth, very feminine mouth there. And then when I was doing this drawing I was like, I think I need to probably like search for some like references from insects and stuff like that. So that's what kind of like what I did. Later on I did some studies based on some photo references that I saw. And now I'm just trying to complete a little bit more of the drawing, try to add some like ground to the drawings that I did. And I feel like some of the lines are kind of soft, so I probably gonna go back later and try to refine it more. I go back and I say, well, you know what, I'm gonna do another more of the drawings based on this reference that I have. I have my screen, so I was like, oh, it's better do it. And I was just like practicing, seeing how to keep the proportions and how to make the volumes right. Playing maybe a little bit with the shapes of the horns or something like that. Trying to like personalize a little bit the drawings. I think that's something good to add. Make it a little bit more fun instead of just like the drawing of the female figure, and maybe add some kind of design on top of that, right? And I definitely suggest you guys to do more of these drawings. I find myself like not drawing enough of these sketches. It's more like, okay, I have to do this project, so now I'm gonna sit down and then I'm gonna draw this and that. So it usually turns that way. But definitely you need to like sketch a lot and draw a lot just to keep it like flowing. And this is when I was like, okay, now what about to make this more like a robotic girl, and maybe add some other elements that I like, that I enjoy drawing, and maybe some long nails, some shading here and there, and I thought that was good, but I kind of like wanted to draw more of the like like robotic girls, but you have to get into that zone. You have to do more sketches, and it was just good enough, I guess. Just like having that head shape. I think it's something like sexy to have like mixture of robot and organic flesh. It's like having like a figure that is or like a figurine that has a fleshy soft parts. I don't know, there's something kind of erotic about that. And after that I went for like a reference, and I was just looking at some grasshoppers, and I decided to try to go with the same flow of drawing the lips, and then drawing a little bit more from an alien face, thinking about the muscles of the mouth, how the muscles of the mouth could be just part of the whole face. And then I was like, yeah, kind of like simple design, similar to the other ones, but what if I have like another nice ornament behind? And I started thinking about it, in the more it looks more like a vagina. and and probably that's one of the things about these alien creatures, that they can have that kind of shape, very very sexual. And I don't know, I feel that's something that is very like attractive to have like a monster still sexy, but have that weird shape, but still have that sexiness going through. And this one just more like ideation, like thinking about it and drawing and trying to draw both sides and to create like an interesting shape. I wouldn't say it was like a successful drawing, that it was amazing, but you have to go through this. I have sometimes you have to go through this like drawing and keep like pushing the drawing to see what else you can come through. What else can you think about? And just I did that, and I abandoned it. I was like, what, I'm gonna just draw another one. And this one was a little bit more of a little bit of a struggle, especially the head. I didn't have I was trying not to repeat myself, but I was just repeating myself. And I was like, wow, I'm just drawing what I usually like to draw. So I struggled a little bit with the head. The body was fine, just like a robotic parts, and I was just thinking how I can connect the whole body. And when I did this, I was like, oh well, this looks like Orisa from Overwatch a little bit. Maybe I should have kept that head, now that I think about it, but I think that's one of the parts of like ideation. And then I thought about maybe some hair, but it's like, that's kind of like meh, kind of like nothing special there. Then I went for like big eyes, and then it's like a normal head, and I was like, it's not working, so I'm gonna focus on something else, like the body, maybe add some like shapes like this that I like to add, and maybe something more, something like a hat or something there. But that's the thing, like when sometimes you have like certain shapes in your head, and then when you don't try to draw those, you can kind of block the drawing, but it also makes you feel like it's better to like push it a little bit more, and try different shapes, even if they fail. That's how you know that, okay, those shapes don't work that well. And here I was just drawing my original character. I thought about just drawing like a cute anime face, with a little bit of a different angle from looking from above. And yeah, it was good, but yeah, I got a little bit like closer to it, and I was not like completely like into the zone. I think at that time I was like just talking with a friend, and so the drawing, sometimes you have to like be in the zone, just drawing and let the whole thing flow. But sometimes when you're talking with people, like it's kind of hard to like be creative in that situation. But anyway, I just did the drawing, this sketch, just for like fun, and And one of the things that for myself is like when I sketch, sometimes the sketches are kind of tight, and that's kind of like it's good because you get a good drawing, but at the same time it's kind of like limiting because um, if you are maybe find more loose, I can have like more interesting shapes, and that's what I'm finding about me, like just like drawing. Maybe I need to like actually go and be way more loose and to see what I can get. So that's one of the practices that I think those are good. And here I'm totally using a nice reference photo that I found in the magazine of this girl like holding her glasses, and I thought that was kind of cute um, and interesting. Instead of just like a pose drawing, maybe something more with expression and attitude. And I was just looking at the photo and drawing it, but kind of felt like stiff to me, and that's why I had to go over many times. Well, not many times. I just did a drawing, but I had to go over like a couple of times just to get the right feeling, especially for those hands. Those hands are not the easiest to draw, so that's when you need a reference. Even though you know how to draw hands, how can you make that look more natural and make it look like, okay, the hands actually, that's how the hand will look at that in that way. And then I went back and I did more rough lines. I'm like, okay, I think I'm getting too tight here with this sketching. Maybe I should save, and then redefine again in a new layer, making it bigger so I don't have to like suffer with the texture of the brush, because as you can see it's kind of rough and I'm losing some of the details there. But I kind of wanted to see how could I do that, and basically that's kind of like what I did. I guess when I was doing this drawing I was looking at the reference, but when you do the main drawing you have to think about those lines as what is the purpose of the line and how much form they will describe, and the face at that angle is very like straightforward, but you need to probably have like a tilt in the head or have like a little bit of an angle, because if it's completely straight it feels like very like robotic, like it doesn't feel organic, it feels stiff. That's something that I realized after seeing this replay. Maybe I need to like tilt the head just like a few degrees to the left or right. And I thought about that, and I played with the eyebrows, thinking the eyebrow were the eyebrows, but probably just the head needs a little bit more of kind of like solidity. I guess that's the word, because you can have the shape of the face, but it's not like describing proper three-dimensionality. And then I went to study a little bit of those hands, trying to get them as good as possible. And that's when I came with an idea. Instead of Mickey Mouse, I wanted to like make this a Christmas drawing. For like, I thought about like if I'm posting this in Instagram, how it will look. And just I thought about like maybe having some lights around and have those Christmas like ornaments around her hair, or having those like earrings as a Christmas decorations. And you see I go back again to the face, and it's okay, you cannot like expect to have the face completely right at the beginning. That would be awesome. Sometimes I get that, but in this in this drawing, I think it's not about getting a nice pose. It's just to get the feeling of the character like better. So for me, I just like, I'm, even though I'm getting the drawing, I'm a little bit like struggling. I'll push it a little bit further and draw more and over the drawing a couple of times, just to get more of that drawing there. And instead of like being too critical about it, I thought like, what, I'm just gonna keep drawing and adding details and fixing along the way, and to see what can be added or what can be more defined. And I went back to the eyes and like, okay, now the eyes makes a little bit more sense, more attention there by having the contrast of the iris. And I was thinking about the lights going around, like what was the flow of these and everything. And I thought about the proportions of the face, and like, I think the mouth is too big. Maybe the nose could be changed. Maybe I can rearrange that. Maybe the eyebrows. And yeah, I was not like completely having it. I was talking to a friend at this very time, so that doesn't help. And when you're like trying to get something right, and your friend is just talking, and I mean you're talking, but it's like, I really would like to focus on this. But you know, the more I drew, the more I fixed. The when I went through the checklist to fix it, which is like expression, eyebrows, and proportions. I went through that list, and I kind of like after a while, like okay, I kind of get a better feeling, and when you push a little bit more the value of the lines, then you can separate some elements and probably make it more like graphic and all, and more easy to read. So that was kind of like my attempt here to probably add more like personality and maybe some designs, and give that feeling of the Christmas sweater. And I went back to the reference to see what it was. I'm like, okay, I don't like this. A sweater should be like hanging more from the sides. So I thought that was like, I was missing that. Even though the original reference didn't have that, I personally thought like, well, Christmas is to be comfy with a nice sweater and having a chill time, right? So that was my idea. And then later just like, oh, okay, I'm gonna add more things. Maybe the sweater just like halfway and you can see some of her belly. I don't know. And so yeah, like mostly I went, you know, over and over and over and over just to draw for fun, right? You wanna draw that and just have some fun, and maybe do some corrections. You know, I'm struggling a little bit there, so I'm like, okay, maybe I can find a better way to redesign that shape and then make it look good. Try to work with have different decisions, but I kind of not working, and I have to revise that a little bit more later on. But that's the purpose of the sketch, right? Just to, you know, sketch, draw, clean here and there, add some shading. Maybe describe a little bit more of the fabric and some of the textures of the sweater. Sometimes that is not the drawing structure. Sometimes maybe like having a pattern or a design of the sweater that can give a little bit more of a personal touch to the drawing. I consider that, and it's like maybe try to get the shape a little bit better. And right now it's just touching up, cleaning some of the light bulbs and make sure that they're readable, and maybe the hand a little bit more. Yeah, just went back and then, you know, a little bit more closer and try to add like more shape and do the haircut, more shading. I think with pencil I would have been like way faster with this drawing, but I wouldn't have had the chance to correct it many times. So sometimes like you gain something by working digital, but you lose something when you work in digital. So it depends, you know. Also, I thought maybe the nose is smaller, and maybe the mouth I could make it more thinner. I think the lips are like maybe too thick. Although I like thick all the time, but maybe like you know, smaller lips could work with this character. Just based off the reference. Nothing like, I'm not reinventing the wheel here to make something crazy, you know. And that's it. Then I went to do another sketch as my friends kept talking to me, and we were talking, and like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna draw another skeleton thing just for the fun of it. Something like okay, I think it looks like a bird with a samurai helmet, and maybe I can just like make the helmet already like fusion with the skull and add some, you know, start like having fun redefining a little bit of the shapes with some dark lines to create some shadows. And then I decided to, you know, I can make this shape better. Instead of redrawing everything, I just like use a warp tool to create that shape. And that's it. That was just like 2 hours of sketches. I hope you guys like this. I'm gonna try to post more of this process and share them with you, and probably gonna make some more drawings that are more sexy and more more hardcore for you guys to enjoy. But that's it. Thank you very much, and I hope you like this, short update with sketches. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for your support. Thank you.